Greetings, geeks and geekerellas. It is me. I am back. Another Cloak and Dagger. I am yet again late. Sorry about that. At least it won't be as late as last time, hopefully. Knock on wood. Don't know if that was a good omen or a bad one. But anyway, reason for being late is just me being, as the British would say, a numpty. And forgetting to charge my battery, even after the fiasco that happened yesterday. If you saw my video, you'd know what I meant. If you didn't, I wouldn't blame you, not many people did. Though I really do suggest that you go watch Reverie. But anyway, we're not here to talk about it. We're here to talk about Cloak and Dagger. And I don't want to be here forever, so... Whoo, I don't know if you can hear that, but thunderstorms outside. Let's actually get to the episode. And spoiler warning, I will be getting into spoilers because I'm recapping. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Come back and let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright. So, we get to this episode. Tandy is on the warpath. She is using the documents that she got from Greg's office, and she's doing some full-on investigative work, going over the documents, and figures out everything except for a few little spots, few little holes in her investigation that she needs Ty's help with. Meanwhile, Ty is at school preparing for the game. Because there's a big game coming up, and last time they lost. Didn't go that well for Ty. Meanwhile, Ty's also kind of dealing with sporadic powers, because Tandy's controlled hers, but he hasn't controlled his yet. And so I believe this is when they meet up. Well, beforehand, I know that Ty has a conversation with maybe girlfriend, and she officially becomes his girlfriend, which we know is probably only temporary. My fear is that she is gonna die, because it was said in the synopsis for the show that Tandy and Ty would be together. So it's a shame, but the more and more we see Tandy and Ty together, the more and more I feel chemistry between the two. So, there is that. But I feel bad for the girl. Especially because this episode we had a lot of sweet moments with her and Ty together. Him hesitant to be in the relationship, then finally giving her his Letterman jacket, then her, when he's at a low point, instead of coming in and kicking him when he's down, seeing the real him, supporting him, and then having some alone time. They really didn't say it, but felt like popping Ty's cherry? Maybe, I don't know. Honestly, I don't really care, but let's move on. But I know it kind of went on a little bit of a tangent there, but let's get back to the main story. So they meet up at school. She actually comes to his school and asks for his help to Google some stuff about Roxxon and their employees. And she decides to go to a party. And at the party, she goes undercover. And first steals a schoolgirl outfit from one of the cheerleaders, which, might I say, she didn't look half bad, which, don't kill me, I googled it. Olivia Holt is 20 in real life, so don't kill me there. But anyway, she gets in as like a club worker, secretly working in the club, and she uses this as a chance to actually use her powers to her own personal gain. And so she's touching a lot of people, not like that. And she's using her powers to see their dreams. And this same guy keeps coming up. One of them, he wants to be his servant. One of them, he wants, I forgot, but the last one, they didn't show anything, but they heavily implied that he wanted him to go down on him, if you know what I mean. So clearly people don't like this guy. And she's trying to investigate who he is and why. Then, in the middle of the game, the big game, like halftime, in the middle of the big game, Ty shows up. Just teleports right there. She's like, what the hell? He's like, you what the hell? What are we doing at a Roxxon party? And she tells him, and he's like, oh, you used your powers like you said you were. That explains it. You overusing your powers makes me fry out mine. Because he had like a basketball that just randomly disappeared. Stuff like that. But they talk it out. She figures out who the head guy is. That she's met him before as a little girl. Then she pushes Ty off a ledge to activate his powers. Because for her, it took a near-death situation. Which, in the end, I believe what they were going for, this is skipping ahead a little bit, but I believe what they were going for was, in the end, what made him control his powers. Because it looked like it ended with him knowing how to control his powers. His powers activated when he learned to be happy in life. And her powers activated when she was fighting for her life. So, different kind of opposites for them to realize to gain their powers. Not saying one is good or bad, just using that as a visual representation. Anywho. So, she figures out who he is and does a little bit more investigation, finds out some stuff, including a woman that she just randomly happened to find at the party is apparently an integral person to Roxxon. And might just end up being the big bad. I don't know. She isn't anyone famous, so I don't know if she's going to be the big bad or not. But anyway, besides Miss Detective Power Ranger, there really isn't any famous people in this show. I mean, Ty's mom is kind of famous, but only to a certain crowd. So you never know. And speaking of Detective Kira, as I like to call her, Yellow Dino Ranger is Detective O'Reilly, for those that don't know. And one of my major crushes growing up. So, anyway, we actually see her story too, and her story is she's working with Ty. And Ty tells her about the corrupt guy that killed her brother and how he's still doing drugs and stuff, and she's like, okay, thank you. Let me handle this. I am a cop. You are a civilian. I don't want you getting yourself hurt, so just let it go. Which, of course, it doesn't. But anyway, her story is that she goes on and finds out that he's been dealing with drugs and all of that to personal gain, and ingratiates herself on his good side by snorting a line of coke. Which they said that she worked the narcotics division in New York, so don't think it was her first time, but I hope it's not like a habit for her. I hope it was just she did it to get into his good graces type thing. Because they kind of implied that's what was going on. But anyway, I forgot to mention this. Ty, his story is just while playing the game, at the big game, he gets to the final shot, and of course it's down to him. But as he's dribbling, pushing through all the guys, they all touch him. Not like that. And he sees their fears. And they've got some serious fears. One of them, it seems like he's afraid that he'll go to prison and then die being a snitch. That's what I think. One kid was actually afraid that I think that his father would beat him to death. It's just like shit. Then one guy was afraid that he'd have to go to war and have to be a soldier and I think die there. So Ty's like, fuck. Like, they probably need this more than I do. I mean, I'm pretty well off at school. Our school's pretty rich kids. Our school kids are probably going to be fine. But they probably need this more than I do. And he thinks about Billy, how Billy helped out people, including him. So he throws the game. And that was the thing that I was alluding to before, which, when I said that now girlfriend knows what he did and knows the real him. And that was basically the episode. We ended with the revelation about the random chick that Tandy ran into. And that's the episode, and believe it or not, guys, we're halfway through this season 1. Which it's flying by, but I'm loving every second. I cannot wait to see more. Tell me what you guys thought about the episode in the comments below. Maybe what you thought about this video in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I know typical YouTuber stuff, but it does help. Maybe even share. But anywho, thanks for watching. Join me. I'm trying to think. Yeah, probably Monday for episode 2 of season 2 of Salvation. A really good low sci-fi suspense show from CBS. And episode 1 did pretty well. Hopefully episode 2 will at least give me Supergirl numbers. I mean, Reverie managed to. Hopefully it can too. Only time will tell. And speaking of time, I gotta go. That's it for now. Till next time, and beyond. Do not mind that weird noise.